Hey guys, welcome to JPlays. I am Iceman. This is my playthrough of Bioshock. We're now on to what I think is our big battle with Fontaine.
I remember when me and the crowd put you in that sub. You were no more than two. You were my ace in the hole. But you were also the closest thing I ever had to a son. And that's why this hurts. Betrayal, kid. Life ain't strictly business.
Go! Go now! Hit him with the needle!
Come on now, kid. You want to get serious? Come and get it, Luke! I'm not! Come and get it, Luke! Is that all you... I'll put you down! Catch my breath. And I'm gonna bury you and all them little eggs. You think I'm alone in this world? I got more than enough mobs to watch my head while I recharge. Come and get it, Luke! Come and get it, Luke! I'm ready for you! Get back here! Need a minute. Then I'm gonna come again. You buster! You think it'll be that easy? Come on! Get back here! Come and get it, Luke! I'm ready for you! I'm not finished! Here it is! Come and get it, Luke! Is that... Come and get it, Luke! You think it'll be that easy? You You think you got a shot at this? I'm barely getting started.
Die.
I had you built. I sent you topside.
I called you back, showed you what you was capable of. Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head. Now, if you don't call that family, I know what is. And now,
Oh yeah. That was a lot easier than I remember it being.
They offered you this city. And you refused it. And what did you do instead? What I've come to expect of you. You saved them. You gave them the one thing that was stolen from them. A chance. A chance to learn. To find love. To live. And in the end, what was your reward? You never said. But I think I know. A family.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I thought there was a whole other stage where you had to escape the place after that. But nope, that was it. So that was the first Bioshock game. Overall, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. For me, not as good as, let's say, System Shock 2 for length and other things, but on its own merits, an excellent game all in all. With its, you know, unique, more action-based gameplay, there's still the RPG mechanics that are there are still pretty damn good. I love the angle with like the big daddies and little sisters and all that, plus the fall of Rapture and you know, ideology of like why the place was started versus, you know, what happened afterwards and everything. So yeah, overall, great stuff. I'll definitely jump onto Bioshock 2 soonish. So you'll be seeing me in that. I don't think I'll have to double check if there was any DLC for this. I don't think there was. I know Bioshock 2 does have DLC. I'll do some checking. But if there isn't, then I'll see you in Bioshock 2. So let's see the credits. Oh, and lastly, I remember that battle being way, way, way harder. But maybe I played it on a higher difficulty last time round. But this time round, that was pretty easy. But I guess that's what you get for, you know, lowering the difficulty. Okay, one last thing I wanted to quickly check out. Alright, additional content. Ah. Just wanted to see the museum. I don't remember that. Oh. Oh. What is that? Different types of weapons or armor sets or something? Okay, concept art. Huh? First splicer that Irrational created for Bioshock Stitchy was used in many early concept demos and was fully functional in-game with kinematics, hit reactions, and voiceover. It took us that long to realize he wasn't a good model, says lead artist Sean Roberts. This is probably the worst abortion that a Irrational has ever made. Looks interesting. That looks very System Shock 2-ish. These are some of the first concept sketches to show Bioshock's enemies moving in a more human-like direction. Artists coupled that approach with the idea that Adam deformed the body in a way that related to its intended function. For instance, a giant grotesque arm on a melee enemy. These are some of the first concept sketches to show Bioshock's enemies moving in a more human-like direction. Artists coupled that with the idea. Yep. Ooh. Before solidifying the fiction around Adam, Irrational experimented with the idea of it being an external injected substance. Here you can see us playing around with Adam being mechanically injected, said lead artist Sean Robertson. So this splicer's got vials of it on his belt. This model was created but never made it into the game in any form. So I missed the plaques for these ones. So the original model for the bouncer type of Big Daddy featured a flat-headed drill at the end of each arm. Oh yeah? The Big Daddies were envisioned as the builders of Rapture, with weapons modified from tools they would have used in its construction. When the Gatherers were reimagined as Little Sisters, one of the bouncer's drills was changed to a gloved hand, so the two characters could interact with each other. Rational's internal name for this prototype Big Daddy, these ones, variant who mauled players with an enormous hook and fired iron bearings from a barrel, stood for slow projectile fucked up melee. Like SPF or something. He survived long enough to become a full functioning AI, but the team eventually cut him to focus on polishing the other Big Daddy types. This model later appeared in Bioshock 2 as the Rumbler, throwing miniature turrets instead of cannonballs. Okay. With this concept art, Rational's artists tried to envision how an underwater city would actually function in this early conceptual work of Rapture. One idea imagined a thick forest for the purpose of oxygen exchange, seen here with an observation catwalk running around the edge. The concept of using trees for oxygen exchange made it into the final game in the Arcadia level. Arcadia levels are one of the good ones. These things. Maybe hard to imagine that this creature whose job it was to reclaim Adam from corpses around Rapture was the earliest iteration of the idea behind the Little Sister. Since the Gatherer generated absolutely no sympathy from players, the team experimented with concepts for featuring a number of animals, including the infamous dog in a wheelchair, and later a grotesque miniature humanoid. Finally, a concept sketch of a deformed child inspired the eureka moment responsible for the Little Sisters. Yeah, definitely. They made the right choice there. Okay, early splicer art. Moving from grotesque to human was a slow process. While early concepts saw the melee enemies grew monstrous arms, the team had trouble conveying how someone who had spliced to become a marksman would appear. Next one. These early concepts for the Rosie type of Big Daddy, who, like the Bouncer, was envisioned as a construction worker who had been repurposed as a protector for the Gatherers. The Big Daddies, originally called Protectors, were envisioned as dive-suited construction workers retasked with the defense of atom gatherers. They used construction tools or improvised weapons that looked like they had been found on the seafloor. From left to right are early concepts for the melee, ranged, and slow projectile protectors. Ooh, that would have been interesting. This grey Fontaine splicer was an early grenadier from the same period of development as Stitchy and Hooker. He was a guy who spliced to carry around giant grenades and throw them at you, says the lead artist Sean Robertson. The model was built and textured, but never animated. Very cool. More concept art. The location depicted here was built for the Vision demo of Bioshock, a small level demonstrating several of the key elements of the game, such as the Big Daddies and Gatherers. This area appears in the Neptune's Bounty level of Bioshock, but the bodies floating in the ocean were cut late in development when their cast shadows proved too distracting from the action in the room. Okay. Ooh. Hooker. Okay. Created around the same time as Stitchy and the Grenadier, the Splicer was dubbed the Hooker because of her weapon of choice. This concept evolved into the Spider Splicer when it was decided that Splicer models could fill any behavior role, and the Hooker model later became the Baby Jane Splicer. Okay. I read these. Yeah. Wait. Okay. This is an early concept depiction depicting a Big Daddy bursting through a wall, which inspired the audio log in the Big Daddy training grounds area about a rogue Big Daddy. The player then encountered him at the end of the level. This is a concept sketch depicting what would later become Submarine Bay, an area which housed an important scene for Atlas. Kind of looks like a tyrant from Resident Evil. Kinda. This character is essentially the missing link between the grotesque early designs and the human splices that appeared in Bioshock. This is the last bad model we did before moving on to what actually went into the shipping game, says lead artist Sean Robinson. After playing with him for a while, we just said, why don't we just use humans instead? I always thought of these as Scooby-Doo monsters because they were too inhuman to invoke empathy. It's all in how you voice them. You know, System Shock, they would walk around and say, I'm sorry, and stuff before they'd hit you, you know. That would always invoke emotion, but What's that? Early Big Daddy concept art. This was the fourth protector concept, originally created with an organic slug attached to it. Okay. Model was started but never completed as the team narrowed their focus to 3 and finally just 2 Big Daddy types. Would have been nice to see more different types. I still liked this as a protector, says artist Rob Waters. We started modeling and I really pushed to get it in, even as just a static model on the floor, but it never made it. It's a shame, that'd have been cool. Ooh, what the hell is that? These were some of the earliest pieces done for Bioshock, from back when Irrational was still working on SWAT 4. That's probably with Looking Glass Studios, who made Thief and System Shock. The only concrete ideas at that point was an undersea city and biological experimentation, so early concepts focused on those themes. Okay. Very cool. Ooh. That kind of looks like one of the enemies from Half-Life. The ones that would shoot the little bug things, kinda. Ooh. Yam Hand model. This character, derisively called Yam Hand around Irrational Games, was the poster child of the conceptual phase that preceded the decision to go with human enemies. I'd point out the drawings behind the model, says lead artist Sean Robertson. You can see the top one got built, but the other two informed the design as well. As we tended more towards humanoids, the Scooby monsters got goofier and less scary. We're almost done. Just concept art. This was the first image that really captured all of the visual elements that made Bioshock Bioshock. A large view of the ocean, the aquatic lighting scene, and the elegant art deco design elements. Without this image, Bioshock would have been a radically different beast. This early concept for Sander Cohen's Fleet Hall was created after level building had begun, when the designers found they were having difficulty conceptualizing the theater space. Oh yeah, okay. That looks very similar, kinda, to how it looks. You basically got the basic flow of the room. It's the same. It was one of the earliest spaces built for Bioshock, and many of the assets used in this museum come from that area. Okay. Very interesting. I think that's about it. Very interesting. Alright, done. Okay. As I said, I will check out to see if there was any downloadable content, and I mean single player content, released for the game, this one. If there is, I'll jump into it. Otherwise, I'll see you in my playthrough of Bioshock 2. Alright guys, have a good one.